to damage His Holiness the Dalai Lama's moral authority. Sadly, many medias in India and elsewhere followed the narrative without any context. Fortunately, as Buddha has said thousands of years ago, three things cannot be hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And the truth about His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the truth about His Holiness the Dalai Lama's interaction with a young Indian boy on February 28 is now clear before our own eyes. It is evident that this whole ordeal was maliciously a Chinese conspiracy to delegitimize, to diminish, to tarnish the image of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and what he stood for. Today, one by one, many of these malicious or social influences are coming and apologizing and saying sorry. I have three messages for today. My first message is to the media. Media is considered to be the fourth pillar of democracy. Media is supposed to be finding out what is the truth and holding people accountable. And in this particular case, the media has absolutely failed its first cardinal principle, which is to find out the truth and verify the fact. So I think the media definitely owes the boy and the mother. And both the boy and the mother have expressed their positive feeling blessed. There was nothing to complain about. So I think the media owes an apology, and to do the right thing, I urge media to release, post, share the interviews of the mother and the child. And more importantly, since last week, there have been a number of groups, organizations that have come out in support of His Holiness. And just yesterday, some of the most well-known in academics, American professors, scholars around the world have released a statement in support of His Holiness. And I want media to do the right thing and publish those statements. My for His Holiness and our faith for His Holiness is infinite and unshakable. Therefore, no matter whatever the Chinese government tries, how many times they try, they will never succeed to shake our faith in His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And finally, to my fellow Tibetans and my brothers and sisters from the Himalayan regions and the disciples and followers of His Holiness, since the last couple of weeks, you have come out in the streets of India, in Ladakh, in Tawang, in South India as well, and abroad, and here we have one of the largest gatherings. I want to thank you for standing up for His Holiness. I want to thank you for standing for His Holiness. And I think what's going to be really critical is, in order for us to sort of really stand by His Holiness, we must keep in mind His Holiness the Dalai Lama's teaching on love, compassion, and kindness and respect. As we disperse today and go home, I want all of us to keep in mind His Holiness the Dalai Lama's teaching on love, kindness, compassion in our speech, in our thought, in our action. And I think that is going to be the highest tribute that we can pay to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And I think that is going to be the most powerful way to stand up for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Long live! Long live! Long live! Thank you.
Thank you, Chidu Tunduk Sinila. Our next speaker is Chidu Tenzin Jimela, a Tibetan leader and activist living in Minnesota. He has been active in the Tibetan movement for over 20 years, from his days in college as a student for Free Tibet member, and most recently as the president of Tibetan Youth Congress, the largest Tibetan non-governmental organization in exile. He is currently a member of parliament representing the Tibetan diaspora in North and South America to the Tibetan parliament in exile. Please welcome Chidu Tenzin Jimela.
New York! Long live! Long live! Long live! We love! We love! We love! New York! We are here today because we are Tibetans first. And as Tibetans, it is our duty and our responsibility to stand up for our country, our people, and our leader. We are gathered here today not to apologize to anybody. We are gathered here not to seek forgiveness or solidarity. We are not here to express regret about our culture and our traditions. We are here for one reason, and that is to show our love, our support, and stand with our leader, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Let me be clear, if there is anyone who deserves an apology, it is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Today, as we gather here in New York, I want to express, firstly, my disappointment at the international media. Disappointment at the irresponsible behavior of some of these news reporters who, without doing any research to seek the truth, promoted this edited, false narrative fueled by some seeking to defame His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and others in social media jumping on that bandwagon for 2 minutes of fame. We strongly condemn you. How about talking to us Tibetans? How about asking our story? How about seeking our narrative? I urge you, my friends in the media, not to fall into the trap of the CCP propaganda. Brothers and sisters, I want to stress this. We have to understand, and we need to talk about this. There is a politically calculated move to defame His Holiness the Dalai Lama. This is not the first time that carefully coordinated efforts have been made to undermine the work of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, because of which he is loved and respected by people all over the world. The playful interaction between His Holiness and the child took place on 20th February in Dharamsala, in front of the media. other students and in front of the boys' parents. So the question is, why would that same incident after 2 months cause such a backlash? Why would someone cut and splice and manipulate a video to defame His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Who is behind this? Remember that His Holiness the Dalai Lama is not only a spiritual leader, but also a political head and a political figure. And Tibetans inside Tibet and in exile recognize him as the sole leader of Tibet. Let me be clear that this is a well-coordinated, strategic effort, once again, to defame His Holiness. So brothers and sisters, we have to be alert. We have to be vigilant against these forces who are out there to defame His Holiness and destroy the unity of our people and our movement. But today in New York, we have over 6,000 Tibetans from all 3 provinces of Uyghur, Dote, and Dome gathered here. And from New York to New Delhi, from London to Ladakh, from Melbourne to Montawan, Tibetans and Buddhists and Himalayan brothers and sisters have all come out with one voice and unity to support His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Our message is clear. We will not remain silent when our leader is being accused of something that he is not. We will not keep quiet and watch our leader's reputation be tainted. We will rise up, we will stand up, we will speak up, and we will fight to protect His Holiness the Dalai Lama. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has worked his entire life, over 60 years, for Tibet, for the Tibetan people, for the world, for the message of Buddha, for climate and social justice, for peace and non-violence and compassion. But today, because of the collective efforts of Tibetans, mostly the youth, and many of those who have initially jumped on this bandwagon have all come out, opened their eyes, their hearts and minds, and apologized to His Holiness and the Tibetan people. But there are some who are still going on, paid by the CCP, I suppose, out of ignorance or for fame. But no matter what they say, we know His Holiness, we love His Holiness, and that is all that matters. As we gather here today in front of this Chinese consulate, I want to send a clear message to the Chinese government. You can try to bring him down, but you will never succeed. You can try to spread lies about him, but you will never succeed. Every time you try, we will be there. The Tibetan people, followers of the Buddha, followers of His Holiness, students, we will be there to confront you, to expose you, and stand with His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. Brothers and sisters, I know and recognize that many of us are hurt and we are angry. And that's okay. It's okay to be angry. But I want to urge you, let us turn this anger into something positive. We must continue to make our voices heard. Let us use this incident to reignite, to add fuel and reignite our movement. Let us build on this momentum and speak about the injustice, the oppression of our brothers and sisters inside Tibet who are facing genocide. Let us take this moment to talk about the 1 million children in Tibet who have been forced into colonial boarding schools. aimed to wipe out Tibetan language and culture. This is an opportunity for us to talk about His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Tibet. Let us seize this moment. Let us seize this opportunity. We need to be active on social media. We need to be proactive on social media. His Holiness has said many times that the responsibility of the Tibetan struggle lies on 6 million Tibetans and not him alone. And the way we show our love is by taking responsibility of our struggle and our movement. Finally today, to those who have come out to defame and denounce His Holiness, I know that if His Holiness the Dalai Lama was here today, even after all you have said and after all you have done to him, he would still smile at you. He would laugh, and he may even stick his tongue out. But he would tell you that he loves you, and that is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Thank you.